Morning, everybody. I woke up about 4 this morning, could not go back to sleep. So I decided I'd just get up and get me a cup of coffee and get on here and chat with everybody. See if anybody shows up this morning. Good morning, Connie. It's awfully early. I woke up about 4 o'clock, couldn't go back to sleep. So I finally decided I'd get up and fix a cup of coffee. And there's Tanny. Hi there. How are you doing? I know I woke up at about 4 and couldn't go back to sleep, so I decided I'd get up. I just got up and fixed me a cup of coffee. Y'all fix you a cup. Join me. No, I decided since I couldn't go back to sleep, I'd just get up and see how many I might catch in a live this morning. A surprise live. Maybe I'd catch somebody that wants to talk about cooking or gardening or something this morning. I mean, I think it's awfully strange. You know, I've got over 7,000 viewers, subscribers. And when I go live, I do good to get 45 or 50 people in a live. There's something wrong right there. I mean, with over 7,000 subscribers, I should have a lot more people in a live than 40 or 50 people. I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Exactly, Tenny. Got to have your cup of coffee in the morning. Well, I thought I'd go live early because about daylight, I got to go start mowing. I got a big yard I got to mow this morning. And I'm not looking forward to it. And there's P.F. Hawkins. Good morning. I know I got people that are subscribers that are all over the world, all different time zones. So I need to start going live more often and see when is a good time to go live for me to get a lot of views. What's everybody's plans for today? You got some good plans? Like I said, my big plan is getting out there starting to mow my yard. It's going to take me a good 2 days to mow it, I'm sure. Because it'll start getting so hot on me this morning, I'll have to stop and wait for a cooler time to finish it. I've got so much to do. So much to do. I've got to get that other raised bed planted. And there's Wilson. Good morning, Wilson. You're up early. But yeah, I've got to get that other raised bed. I got to get soil in it. You know, I got to build my soil base in there because I haven't even started yet. Jenny says laundry day, and that's as far as my brain has let me get so far. Well, I don't think I'm ready to do laundry again yet. I haven't got enough laundry accumulated to think about doing laundry this morning. But I do need to mow. Connie's going to do another resin project, a caterpillar nightlight. Oh, that'll be neat. I've never dealt with resin. My ex-husband, when we were still married, when we first came to Texas, he he started getting into paperweights and all kind of things, belt buckles, and he put scorpions in them, tarantulas, all kind of critters in paperweights and belt buckles, and it was kind of neat. But he didn't do it in the house, he did it outside. But I never got into that. Wilson's going to be fixing pancakes this morning. Oh, good. That sounds good. I don't know what I want. And Tanya says, husband's been working hard this past week planting in our garden. Peas are coming up really well as peppers and onions. You know, talking about peppers, I need to get out there and harvest some of mine. And I noticed I've got a few foot-long beans hanging on my vines again. So this cooler temperature has revived everything in the garden. But I've got some pretty big bell pepper out there. I need to get those picked. I got jalapenos and other hot peppers that need to be picked. I've got okra that I need to cut. And I may do a video on that later today, but first I've got to get out there and mow, or start mowing. I hear little buddy. I've already got their bowls fixed. All I got to do is put it outside the door. I knew once he heard me talking, he'd be at the door wanting breakfast. So I got their breakfast made, so I'm going to take it out there to them. Little buddy hears my voice. He comes running. He's ready to eat when he hears my voice. I guess Lucky's still asleep. I don't see him on the porch yet. But I put his bowl out there. Connie wears a respirator and gloves. An open window's full. The fumes out with a fan. Nobody but you is up in your household. And Tenny's husband planted all kinds of peppers. Make homemade habanero pineapple hot sauce, and then I make homemade Tabasco sauce. Oh, you can make sauerkraut too. I haven't made any sauerkraut this year. I made some last year. But yeah, I always grow all kind of hot peppers and sweet peppers as well with my tomatoes, because I always like to make the cowboy candy and chow chow every year. And you know, you use green tomatoes to make chow chow. And then I take all my peppers that I can pick and make cowboy candy. And sometimes I weaken it down. I don't want it so hot. So what I do is I take the sweet peppers and I'll chop them all up, and then I add just a few jalapenos or hot peppers in it. That way I can control how hot it is. But most of it I just make full strength hot peppers. And there's Frida Cassidy. Good morning, Frida. Join us for a cup of coffee and a chat this morning. I couldn't sleep, so I had to get up. I was tired of tossing and turning in the bed this morning. That coffee's pretty good this morning. It's not too bad. I got 16 watching so far, and I've only been live for 10 minutes, so I have many jars of cowboy candy canned up and in my pantry. I like to take the jalapenos and make Texas Twinkies with them. I've never heard of Texas Twinkies. What is that? You can't tell me that's a little sweet cake with jalapenos. Oh, well, that's good, Connie. You made an appointment for Damien. Yeah, I've got 7,270 some odd subscribers. Where's all my subscribers when I go live? I guess they like my videos. They'd rather watch videos than watch a live. I don't know. Not this morning. I mean, they may have already went by. I don't know. I've got one bus that comes by here. I know in the afternoon when it brings kids home, but I don't know what time it goes by in the morning. I know it does, but I don't know. I'm not usually up to know when it goes by in the morning. Texas Twinkies, it's stuffed jalapenos with barbecue brisket, cream cheese, and then wrapped with bacon and baked in the oven, basted with barbecue sauce. That sounds good, but I don't know if I could handle that hot jalapeno. Like I said, I use my cowboy candy for seasoning. And I do use it in cream cheese, but usually if I stuff a pepper, it's going to be a sweet pepper because, you know, my stomach can't handle the full strength hot anymore. So I'll mix my jalapenos in my cream cheese. That way I can control the heat when I stuff the pepper and put it in a sweet pepper. Yeah, I've never heard of Texas Twinkies before, but that sounds good. As long as you deseed them as much of the ribs out as possible, you blanch them for a minute or so in boiling water. It makes them more mild. I don't know. Anything I've ever done to them, they're still hot. They're still just as hot as they were to begin with, so I've kind of given up on that. Turn on your radio. Why would I turn my radio on, Wilson? I don't even have a radio. What's on the radio this morning? Gonna make meringue cookies this afternoon. It's been a while since I made cookies. I probably need to make a batch of cookies, but if I make them, I'm gonna end up eating them. Yeah, you have your radio for music. You made a tray of them for a family Christmas get together and none were left. My son makes them and usually they're all gone, but he told me, he says, Mom, the seeds are out of them. They're not quite as hot. I says, I fixed many more jalapenos than you ever have. And I'll promise you, just because you take the seeds out does not mean that jalapeno is not just as hot as it was before, because it is. Try it, Mom. So I bit into it. Yeah, well, just like I told him. It's just as hot as it was before the seeds got taken out. Janine, good morning. This is a surprise live. I was up at 4 o'clock, couldn't sleep, so I decided to go live and just see how many people were awake at this time. Or see how many people were available to watch and get into chat this morning. You know, it's so funny. You know, I've got oak trees all around my yard. And for like a week or more now, the acorns have been falling. and they keep hitting the house. And it sounds like kids throwing marbles at the house. And I swept the sidewalk off yesterday. It's covered with acorns again. You walk down the sidewalk and you go crunch, crunch, crunch on the acorns because they're all over the concrete. Saw you on TV, so wanted to get on tablet. Okay. I've not even turned my TV on. And no, I did have it on last night because I watched a movie last night. I got so tired of editing videos and fooling around getting videos ready and all this, so I just decided last night I'm taking a break. I'm just going to go watch me a good movie. So that's what I did. I completely got away from the computer. Yeah, I'm up early. Woke up at 4 o'clock and couldn't go back to sleep. So I decided I'd get up and just do a pop-up live and see how many people were out there. I'm going to make coffee. Did you watch the eclipse last night? I saw a little bit of it, but I was so busy with my videos I didn't get to see it all. Wanted iced coffee. Iced coffee's good, but this morning I'll take my hot coffee. Yeah, a walnut tree. Yeah, that's bigger than an acorn. So when them walnuts fall, that could hurt your head walking under it. P.F. Hawkins must have looked at my profile picture. No, I'm at home. At home beach is an hour and a half drive. I would, though, if I could. It is my favorite place to be. Yeah, when we lived on Oak Island, I didn't want to move. I did not want to come to Texas because I loved living at the beach. I was just a block away from the beach strand, y'all, where our house was. I'd usually get my house chores done after my husband went to work and my daughter went to school because she was in kindergarten back then. And I just head out and take a stroll on the beach, see if I could pick up shells and stuff. Sometimes I would find them early in the morning and sometimes not. Just depends on how the tide was and how many other people were out looking for shells bright and early in the morning. Hurricane terrain. Yeah, they got a lot of flooding back home right now in North Carolina because I'm from the coastline right around Wilmington, North Carolina, and Oak Island. And they've got a lot of flooding back there right now. Like Southport was just right outside of Oak Island, and that's where my ex-husband worked at the time. And it was only 5-10 minute drive from the house. And they were completely flooded. They had barricades up on the streets. You couldn't even get in or out of Southport because all the highways were flooded. But you know, they're right on the coast, so I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard from any of the family. I'm sure it's got plenty of water on it, whether it's flooded or not. And I keep getting offers for people wanting to buy my property, but they never want to meet the price. So, because you know, I haven't put it up for sale. I've just got these realtors that look around for property, and they just keep calling me, sending me messages all from everywhere, wanting to buy it. The last one that called me, I told him, I said, it's like this. I said, I'm really not looking to sell it, but if you make me an offer that I can't refuse, I might think about it. No, my property is just wooded, undeveloped property. It's 6 acres of woodlands, basically, but most of it is right on the road front. So it's really considered prime real estate. And there's a canal running behind it. But it's kind of a long, oblong, what could I call it? Rectangular. It's a long strip, you know. It's not square, it's a long strip. And then I got the road front on the front side, and then I've got a canal that runs behind it. So there is a lot of road access, you know, where the property is right on the highway. I've had people calling from churches. I think one company was wanting to put a Methodist church there, so they wanted to buy my property for that, but they didn't meet my price. So, you know, if they don't meet my price, I'm not selling it. There's neighbors right across the property from me, right across the highway. In fact, that's where the lady lived that I bought the property from years ago. She since has passed away, and her daughter lives there with her family. And then on one side of me up there, this way, I've got the Cobb family that has a mobile home. And then down this way, pretty good ways, there's another mobile home of a guy that owns a racetrack. And this is a racing track, not a gas station. It's an actual racetrack where they do drag races. He owns that, but he lives right beside my property. So yeah, I mean, there's people there, but like I said, I own 6 acres, so I could put a house on basically any part of it, and I would have plenty of space on each side. I'd have basically 3 acres on each side of my house for privacy. But the snakes are real bad there, so I don't know. Me and the snakes would not get along. Your uncle owns condos in Austin? Kind of what I'm afraid would happen is if I sold the whole 6 acres to some of these real estate people, they're going to come in there and put up apartments or something, you know? Or they're going to come in and put up a mobile home park or something that's going to bring tons of people into that area. And most of the people that live in my hometown don't want it to get big and industrious. They want it to stay a small town. A small farm town is what it basically is. But you're real close to Wilmington. It only takes about 30 minutes to drive from my hometown to Wilmington. It takes about an hour to drive from my hometown to Oak Island, where I used to live before I came to Texas. And it only takes about 15 minutes to drive to Wallace or Burgall, which is two other close towns. So, I mean, you got the country, but you're close. You know, you got things you need close by, close enough. I said the way these companies did the lots here where I live, 50 feet by 105 feet. Can you imagine how many lots they could put on my property when it's 6 acres? If they had each lot at 50 foot wide and 105 feet deep. That's quite a bit of lots. They could put in a whole great big subdivision there. Well, you know, there's several different Oak Islands. There's Oak Island, North Carolina, where I used to live before I came to Texas. And then there's Oak Island in other states. So I don't know which Oak Island is supposed to be where the treasure is. And you know what? I forgot to turn my notifications off my camera. I disassembled some of my clothespins, painted them turquoise blue, and glued them together into a medium-sized trivet. I made 6 of them, going to make a tray out of them, done in round trays. Well, you know, they used to take clothespins and those, they look like thread spools that were about that tall, and they were kind of like a cone. They used to make, they put them in a circle, and sometimes they'd put a clock in the center and paint them gold or silver and put that clock in the middle, and it turned out really pretty. It's in Canada. Okay. I knew it wasn't here. I don't know of any treasure that's on Oak Island, North Carolina. But they got an Oak Island, California. Yeah, so when you say Oak Island, you got to specify what state, because a lot of these states have an Oak Island. The only plans I've got, if I don't change my mind, is I'm going to get out there right after daylight sometime early when it's still halfway cool and try to mow my yard or get started with it. It'll take me at least 2 days to mow it. Yeah, they used to make wall plaques and all kind of stuff out of those thread cones that are about that tall, kind of like the spools that go on a serger machine. Some of them were a little bit bigger than that, taller. But once they were painted, you didn't know what it started from. You know, it looked really pretty. I haven't seen the moon. Mustang Sally, good morning from California. How's Mustang Sally doing this morning? My coffee's empty. No, I didn't plan on mowing yesterday. I had other stuff I had to do. But there's 2 things kind of on my agenda for today. Mowing is one of them. And then doing a garden video is the other, because I need to pick all the stuff that's ready to be picked. If I don't, it's liable to stay on the bush till it's not any good. Like if I don't pick the okra, it's not going to be any good to cook. You're going to the lake? Are you going swimming or fishing, Wilson? Are you going to the lake to go swimming or fishing? I need to plan me another fishing outing. You know, I haven't caught any. Well, I did catch one fish this year. A couple, but they were kind of small. Okay, well, I hope you catch a lot of fish when you go. What kind of fish do you catch the most there where you live, Wilson? Mustang Sally says I'm hanging in there, about all I can do. Yeah, it's going to start heating up today. It'll be 97 tomorrow. 97 again Friday. Catfish, sometimes sunfish. Yeah, I mostly catch catfish out here. Once in a while, I'll catch a good sized bass. And sometimes just the little brim and stuff, you know. I do too. It's relaxing to go fishing. Well, I don't drink beer usually, so I don't have any beer with me. I usually have something to drink, but it's not alcohol, so. Well, we had a couple of cool days, or cooler. It was in the high 80s, but now it's back up in the 90s. And like I said, it'll be pushing 97 tomorrow and the next day, and God knows what it's going to be after that. And we haven't had any more rain. We need some more good rain coming down. Okay, Diana, you have a blessed day. Stay safe. We'll see you on the next one. And there's Dennis and grandkids. I know, good grief, it's early. I woke up about 4 o'clock this morning and could not go back to sleep. And you know how that is. You just toss and turn and you're miserable. So finally I just decided I'm getting up. I'm going to fix me a cup of coffee and I'm going to go live and just see how many people are out there this morning. I lived on 300 acres farm with ponds. That sounds great. Going to be at Ty Lake until 3 p.m. That sounds like a plan. I've never heard that about pineapple, Connie. I didn't know pineapple had anything to do with helping anybody sleep. That's a new one on me. My dad and son's still there. He's 93 and still going strong. Well, good for him. I know years ago when I was going to the chiropractor, he told me to take melatonin because it would help you sleep. I'd taken it, didn't faze me at all. So finally I just gave it up and I didn't take it anymore. Yeah, like I said, I tried melatonin, but it didn't help me. I mean, if I get to a place where I can't sleep or it's a night when I can't sleep, there's nothing that's going to put me to sleep. I'm going to be awake all night. Dennis says, I feel like I'm 93. Sometimes I do too. Yep, sometimes my body tells me I feel like I'm 93. Okay, Wilson, you have a good fishing trip. I hope you catch lots of fish. Maybe you'll have you a fish fry. You'll have to tell us all about it on the next live. Yeah, if I don't get the dirt put in that raised bed, I'm never going to get it planted for fall. I mean, I've got a big fall garden already, but I thought if I could get it full, of soil that maybe I try planting some collards or something in it. Or I might try to put them in the one that I just pull my turnips out of. I don't know. I'm still debating on where I really want to put it. What's everybody eating for breakfast this morning? And I think it was Wilson that said he made pancakes, or he was making them. Yeah, well, anything that helps, Con, is the key. That's funny, Dennis. Your neighbor's roosters are learning how to crow. Well, I don't hear a rooster coming from behind that privacy fence anymore. Our subdivision somehow got it passed that you can't have roosters out here anymore. You can have 12 chickens, but you can't have any roosters anymore. And used to you could have one rooster and 12 chickens. But it got to the place where there was probably 20 people living around my area up here that had chickens and a rooster. And you could just, they'd take turns. Each rooster would take turns in the morning crowing. It was like a clock alarm, the way the roosters were crowing in the morning. So somebody got it passed that you can't have roosters anymore. The son wants s'mores, waffles, so I'm going to make them for him, omelets for husband and me. S'mores waffles. I've never had a s'mores waffle. That sounds like it would be awfully rich. Awfully sweet for first thing in the morning. All that sugar'd have me buzzing around like a bee. I'm going to get guineas. They are louder than roosters. Well, see, we can't have those out here now, I guess. If they say you can't have roosters, you can't have any of the types of roosters. It doesn't matter what kind they are. I kind of like to hear the roosters crowing in the morning. It reminded me kind of being back home. Because it was farm country all from where I lived in around Atkinson. And there was chickens and roosters everywhere, so you always heard one rooster crowing somewhere. I've never had peanut butter and jelly waffles either. That's two new dishes, two new breakfasts that I've never heard of. That'd be like eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, really. The dogs sometimes are worse than the chickens because the roosters, they usually just crow early in the morning, where the dogs, heck, they bark off and on all day long. And sometimes all night. Janine's making pineapple upside down cake. That sounds real good. It's been a while since I fixed one of those. The last one I did was on one of my videos. Yeah, since I've already got collards or tree collards, not the regular collards. I've got kale. I've got perpetual spinach. I've got purple tree collards growing. I still got peas growing, or beans, foot-long beans, noodle beans. I've still got all my tomato plants out there, and they're starting to flower again, so that I should get another pretty good sized crop of tomatoes before our first freeze. Oh, that sounds good, Dennis. Banana and mayonnaise sandwich. I love banana sandwiches. I don't have any bananas right now, and I don't have any bread. Sounds like I got a trip to the store, huh? And there's Caleb. Good morning, Caleb. How are you doing this morning? Yeah, I've got dinosaur kale. I've got the regular kale. I've got Chinese cabbage. I've got all that still growing in my garden. And it started to grow really good now since it's starting to cool off just a tiny bit. Because you know your greens do better in the cooler temperatures. So I've kept mine alive all summer. And it'll probably, for the most part, most of it will stay alive through the winter. Unless we get several nights of below freezing temperatures, then it may not survive. I know. Dinosaur kale is a beautiful plant. I just got finished yesterday. I went out and took my pepper spray. I sprayed my whole yard with it. I'm trying to run the ants out of my yard, so I sprayed my whole yard. I sprayed all the garden. And I still have not seen one tomato plant, but something has been eating one or two of my tomato plants, and I know it's got to be the grasshoppers. Because I look around for the worms and I don't see any, but I do see big grasshoppers. So it's the grasshoppers that are eating the plants this year. Okay, Mustang Sally, you have a great day. See you next time. Yeah, where I pulled my turnips yesterday, and I cooked turnips last night for dinner, and I did a video on it, but it's not going to come out for a day or two. I think I'm going to refresh the soil in that and go ahead and plant some kind of seeds in that and get them growing. Maybe some carrots, I don't know. And this time, if I do put carrots in there, it's going to be nothing but carrots. I'm not going to put anything else in there. I'm doing good, Kaylin. See, it's 6:33 a.m. here, and it's still dark. It's still nighttime outside. That's why it's so dark in here. I don't have all the lights on. I know they are pretty good. I've just never had real good luck growing carrots. I don't know why. But I think I'm going to try them in that raised bed that I had my turnips planted in, because I pulled all them yesterday. Some of them had gotten too tough. Some of them had rotted, where I've been trying to keep it watered, and then it gets so hot on it. So we'll see, since the temperature's cooled off a tiny bit, how carrots will do in there. I'm kind of anxious to see. But I got to get busy, you know. Like I said, before I started my YouTube channel, I was bored because I didn't have enough to do. And then since my YouTube channel, I don't have enough time to get everything done, y'all. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That sounds like a good plan. But my peas are still growing. Or not my peas, my beans. I've got noodle beans and foot and a half long beans. And I noticed yesterday when I was going around spraying, I've got quite a few beans out there that look like they're about 2 foot long. So I need to pick them. But I might try that. I might remember that next time and maybe plant carrots where I had peas growing. He planted 2 years ago and we still have peanuts coming up. That's because when you pull the peanuts, you always leave peanuts in the ground. And they're going to sprout and grow again, just like potatoes. You know, you put potato peelings in your compost, you're going to have potatoes growing in your pot or wherever you put that compost. And then once they start growing, it don't matter if you do dig them up or, pull them up. You're always going to leave some small little potato down there so they're going to come up again. Well, that's what happens with me. Yeah. Oh, in fact, I went out there yesterday and I trimmed my sweet potato vines again because they were putting down root in the yard and I can't let them take over my yard. Yeah, wherever that vine grows, it will root where it touches the ground. I had several of my vines rooting out there. When I pulled them up, like there was one vine had 3 sections on it where it had touched the ground and it was rooted. It had tons of roots on those 3 spots. I mean, here, once it reaches 100 degrees, I think it would probably burn them up, but I can't let sweet potatoes take over my yard. Really? I didn't know you could eat sweet potato vines. I watched a video from Vietnam and different places, and I've noticed them going in the garden and they were cutting vines and they would cook the vines, and I wondered what kind of vine that was. And come to think of it, I bet it was a sweet potato vine they were cutting. Exactly. My freezers are full right now. So once your freezers are full, you can't put any more in there. You got to start using some of it. But I don't know how well the sweet potatoes are going to do in these 18-gallon totes I got them planted in. This is the first year I've tried sweet potatoes. But I said if a white or red potato will grow in a tote, I'm sure you'll get a couple of sweet potatoes growing there too. And I think a sweet potato vine is really pretty, but I don't want it to take over my yard. So I've got to keep my vines trimmed back so they don't touch the ground. Yeah, set up a boiled peanut stand. Sell boiled peanuts by the bag. There's people in North Carolina that do. My brother picked me up from the airport one day, and as we were leaving Wilmington, there was a guy set up with a little stand on the side of the highway, and that's all he was doing was selling little bags of boiled peanuts. So my brother stopped and got him couple of bags. You don't see anything like that out here. Well, you're always welcome in my lives, P.F. Hawkins. Never had one before. You never eaten a boiled peanut, Janine? I used to not like them. But then later when I moved to Texas, I don't even know how come me to start eating boiled peanuts. I know I was at a friend's house and they had some boiled peanuts, so I ate a couple. And I actually liked them. So now I'll eat boiled peanuts where years ago I wouldn't touch them. I could smell them cooking and they made me nauseated. It don't bother me now. Well, you haven't lived till you eat a boiled peanut, Janine. You'll have to get some and try it. You can't get peanuts out here like you boil. You can buy green peanuts in the great big bags, but they're really hard and almost dried. They're not like the ones you first pull out of the ground. So they're not good to boil. You could boil them all day and they wouldn't taste good. But I know a lot of people back home grow peanuts. That's exactly right. When you come over with a positive attitude, then other people get positive too. Yep, just like one of the 10 Commandments, do unto others as you have them do unto you, basically, is what it says. Exactly, Susan. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? Kindness is free. Well, that's a good trade-off, Tenny. Trade with your neighbors your vegetables for eggs. Yeah, I've got Texas bluebonnets that I've planted in my yard, but they never come up where you plant them. But I've got them started in the front corner of the property around where that mum is in that half barrel. They come up every year and they're starting to multiply now. So I mow around them. I refuse to mow down my bluebonnets when they come up because I want them to go to seed every year so they'll produce even more the next year. Neuropathy has kept me up all night. Yeah, bluebonnets in Texas, they're everywhere around here. When they put in the Interstate 377, the road crews, they put out tons of wildflower seeds, bluebonnets, and sometimes the right time of year, bluebonnets are just lining the highway, and it's beautiful. My uncle in Houston gave me bluebonnet, and I can't grow them in Florida. How come you can't grow them in Florida? Is it too wet or something, maybe? I started mine from seed. I bought a package of seed one year, and I planted them in my rock garden. They come up everywhere but the rock garden. I didn't have one bluebonnet that come up in the rock garden. They were all out around the edge of it or between the carport and the rock garden. It was crazy. They came up in the grass where you don't want them to come up. But bluebonnets are wild. They got a mind of their own. They'll come up wherever they decide they want to come up. Hmm. Well, I've never seen bluebonnets grow anywhere but out here in Texas. I saw my first bluebonnet when I moved to Texas. Oh, I bet you I'll remember to turn my notifications off my camera next time. It bothers me when it does that. And there's Shatika. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? Shatika Wood crocheting. You got some nice stuff on your channel. I can crochet some enough that I make my granny squares and stuff like that, but I don't get into anything elaborate because I don't know all the stitches and stuff like that, and I can't read a pattern because I don't know a lot of what the names of the stitches are. Yeah, they say cherries are good to eat. Fresh cherries are good to eat for inflammation from arthritis. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I hear. And there's Susan Leatherwood. Good morning. Yeah, I just thought I'd get on here this morning and see how many people were up and were having coffee this early. I mean, it's late for some people depending on where you live, but for other people they're just getting up. Yeah, I think my yard would be beautiful had sweet potato vines growing all over it, but that'd be crazy. I'd have sweet potatoes growing in between rocks out here in the ground. Wouldn't that be funny? Love you too, Caleb. Traffic starting to stir on the street out there. I guess people are leaving to go to work this morning. It's almost 7, so they're probably leaving to go to work. You know, they got the siding up on that house they're building next door, and they don't even have the roof on it yet. I mean, they got the trusses or the framework for the roof, but they don't have anything on the roof, actually, like the plywood or roofing that they put on. They don't have any of that. It's just the boards framing the roof up there. But they got all the siding going around the house. I thought that was strange. I've never seen a construction company do that before. Most of the companies I've seen build a house, they build the frame of the house, they put the roof, and then they put the siding and stuff around it. But it's not going to be a brick home. It's got tan siding on it. Looks like vinyl siding. Gladys is probably sleeping. She's not used to me going live this early in the morning. But I may do more of the pop-ups like this just at different times to see how many people come into the live. My brother has gout, and he suffers with it, something terrible. I was just thinking, somebody like April that lives in Hawaii, it's probably still midnight for them because they're like 5 or 6 hours earlier than we are. So it's the middle of the night for her. So she's sound asleep. I'm going to yawn now. I'll be ready to go back to bed instead of go out there and mow the yard. Well, it's about 70 degrees, I think, right now. But we've been fair. We haven't had any more rain. But like I said, it's heating back up. It's going to be 97 tomorrow and the next day. And I don't know what it's going to be after that. So Texas summer's not over. We stay warm here when other people have got freezing cold temperatures. They told me to look up GoodRx and save up to 85% on prescriptions. Well, I've got a prescription plan with my supplement to my Medicare. And usually when I go get a prescription, I only pay like $4. And it's went up a little bit from what it used to be. It was $3. And I get a 3-month supply of blood pressure pills. That's 90 capsules. And I only pay $4.10 for it. And that's all, that's a $300 prescription right there that I pay $4 for. I think our Gladys is still sleeping. She has no earthly idea that we're live this morning. I'm starting to yawn, y'all. It's starting to get daylight and I'm starting to yawn. That ain't gonna work. I don't know why it is. I get sleepy after I drink coffee. Coffee's supposed to wake you up, not make you sleepy. Dennis says, Connie, I'm up because I just got in from the hospital, got a shot and meds for gout. Couldn't take it anymore. And good morning, Connie. That reminds me, I need to go get a flu shot. I'm sure Walgreens has flu shots by now. And last time I went and got a shot, you had to make an appointment to get it. So I probably need to make me an appointment to go by Walgreens and get a flu shot. I usually get my flu shots first part of September, so I'm running late with it. Because I know usually when the kids go back to school, flu's going to start going around. I was going to check on their website, Walgreens, and see if they've got the flu shots available. I'm sure they have. They usually have them available about around the 1st of September. I've just been too busy to go in to get a shot. Oh, wow, Susan, you're still trying to get COVID out of your system after a month of being sick. That's terrible. Well, I hope you don't end up with lingering effects from it like some people. Some people have had bad cases of COVID and they keep symptoms of it forever. They don't ever get rid of everything. Or it causes a problem even after they're better. Yeah, I had a few people in my live say if I needed to go live earlier, not wait till 7 o'clock in the evening. And sometimes even 3 o'clock was too late. So I said, well, we'll see how many people show up this morning this early. Thank you so much, Caleb. Yeah, those RX plans are good because anytime you can get $300 worth of a prescription and it costs you $4.10, that's a good plan. And it comes with my Cigna supplement plan. I have that prescription plan that's with it. Ooh, told you I'm starting to yawn now and I already drank my coffee. Well, I probably ought to think about getting me some breakfast so I've got the energy to get out there and mow. Because if I don't eat breakfast, then I'm going to be too weak to push the mower. I take magnesium with my vitamin supplements that I take all the time. And you know, I used to take my vitamins in the morning, but I take them at night now. Because it got to the place where I'd get so busy in the mornings I'd forget to take them. So now I've made it a plan that I take my vitamins about an hour before I go to bed at night. Okay, Dennis, we'll see you later. Glad you stopped by. Take 3, potassium, magnesium, and iron. Well, I take a 1-a-day vitamin as well, so that has a lot of all that in it. But I do take magnesium, vitamin C, calcium. Been on here an hour and 13 minutes. My goodness. Well, I think I'm going to let everybody go. I got to get started. I got to go ahead and fix me a bite to eat so I'll have the energy to get out there and push that mower. At nighttime, you take something and B6. I take a B, what is it, B12, I think. Itching this morning. GABA and B6. Yeah, Janine, you too. Everybody have a wonderful day. I hope you get everything accomplished that you've set to do today. I hope I get my yard mowed like I planned. But I think I'm going to fix me some grits and eggs and get me a bite to eat so I'll have the energy to get out there and work with that mower. So y'all have a blessed day. I'm so happy that you popped in this morning. You got my day started. And we'll see you on my next live, okay? Watch my videos. Tell everybody to watch my videos. Share and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye now. Love y'all.